Hello listeners, once again we are going to develop a simple application. It's going to be a login application. We'll be using a JavaScript, HTML and CSS. This is going to be an interesting video. I want you to stay tuned. Today, let's go straight to our own Visual Studio. We're going to create a new folder in our desktop. Here I'm going to create a new folder. I will come here, come to new, create a new folder. I'll call it a login. Okay, now we are going to come to our Visual Studio. Look for that folder that we just created. It's titled login. We'll get it here. Select it. Now, once it loads, we're going to create some files. We're going to create CSS file. We're going to create probably create a JavaScript file, or we're going to use inline or internal JavaScript. And we're going to have what? An HTML file. Very quickly, we're going to do that by coming to this our folder that we just created. It's already showing in our Solution Explorer. Now, we're going to come to File, go to New, go to what? File. Now, what type of file we're going to create? We'll be creating what? An HTML file. I'm going to title this index.html. Okay? We're going to create an HTML file. So that will give us an open file which will be showing. So once that is loaded, we're going to title it index. After which we'll create another file which is going to be a CSS file. Alright, now we've gotten our what file. I'm going to save this. I'm going to save it as what? Index.what? HTML. Index.html. Alright, we click enter. Good. Now we have this. Inside this place, we are going to create a new column, a new div. I'm going to give this div a class name of what? Container. Okay. Now inside this div, we are going to have what? Form. Okay. I'm going to create a form. Alright, come here, create a form. So inside this form, we have a input type. We're going to have an input type, and the input is going to have what? A type, and the type is going to be what? Going to give it a type of what? Text, TST. Then give it an ID of let's give it ID of UN, which is username. I'm going to close this. So we are going to have something like this. Let's say we are going to have like username, email, password, and also confirm what? Password. I think this will be okay. Let's make do with this. Now here we're going to have some few title. I may likely come here and say, okay, give me a p tag. I'm going to call this what? Let me come here. Since I'm not using a bootstrap, I'm going to just come here and say, give me a bold tag. Okay, I'm going to call this user name with this tag. Okay, I'm also going to come here, bold tag. I'm going to call this one email. Okay, then I'm going to come here, give me a bold tag. I'm going to call this one password. Okay, password, sorry. Okay, then come here. Sorry, I need to brighten my screen so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to also brighten bolding the code. Alright, so I'm going to come here as well. Come here as a create a bold tag. Call this way confirm password. Confirm password. Okay, so now we have created this form. We are going to go to our CSS and do some styling. Okay, we're going to do some styling in our CSS. Now before that, I'm going to come here, close this space. Alright, now if I run this code, this is how it's going to look like. Let's use our what? Local server. View this on a browser. So let's see how it's going to look like on our browser. It's loaded. Once it's successfully loaded, see the output. the result of what we just designed. Good, this is what we just designed. So we are going to what, style this and make it look nice. Then to do that, we'll come back to our CSS. I'm going to come to file. From file here, I will go back to what, new, come to file, then come to what, style sheet, then click open. Now this one is going to create what, a style sheet for us. I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it as what, style.css. okay, just hit style. All right, now that we have this, what I'm going to do here is this. I'm going to come back here, go to our CSS. We have a body tag. I'm going to give it a background color of let's give it a background color of let's say ash 2A, okay, 2F, like this. All right, this is the background color we'll give it. Now if we refresh our code, let's see if it has taken effect. No, it hasn't taken effect. Reason because we have not linked our what, CSS. So we are going to come here at the top here after our title. I'm going to call it one login form. All right, now we're going to come here and link our CSS. To link our CSS, we use what, link, okay, say relation, it says what is style sheet. All right, then we are going to come here as href, and I say what, style.css. all right, now we're now going to close it. Now with this, we have successfully what, to link our what, CSS. If I refresh this page, you see this is the color we are getting. Okay, if this color is not fine, it's not that good, but we can change it by coming to this place. We come to our CSS, we now come here and say hashtag. After our hashtag, we can come here and pick any color, like something of this nature, probably. We can come here and refresh. You see, this is our color that we are getting now. Now we cannot go straight to our design. We'll continue from where we stop. We'll now come here and that's okay. Give me, let's go to come here, give you a margin. Let's say margin of 0. Okay, let's say padding also for 0. We also need a font family. Okay, we'll get a font family of let's use a font family of let's go and use a Poppins. Okay, Poppins. Then we're going to use a sans serif. I don't know where the name came from, but it's nice. Then we're going to come here and say box shadow, okay, or box sizing. We're going to use a box sizing. All right, okay, and that's a border box. All right, now we've done this. Now next we are going to come back here. That's okay. Dot container. Remember we give our div here container. We're going to copy this name, come back to this place, say container, then hit here. Now so give it a width. Let's give it a width of let's say 400 pixels. All right, let's give it a padding of give it a padding of 25, okay, pixels, left and right, then 35 up bottom. Then okay, then we'll come here, say position, let's give it position and absolute. All right, then we'll also come here, we'll give it a top. Let's give it a top of 50%. Also give it a left. Give it a left of what? 50% as well. Then we can now come here and that's a transform. Okay, transform, translate. We are going to translate and say minus 50% from the left top right. Okay, then also 50%. So this will enable us to position this to be at the top, middle. The form will be what? At the middle. So when we come here, if we refresh this, we are going to see our form like this. Okay, see where our form is now. All right, this is how it's going to look like. Now let's continue. Now what we need to do here again, I'm going to come back here and also give it a background. Let it has its own background. I'm going to give it a background of let's say ash FFF. This one will make something to look like this. Are you getting it? Are you seeing it now? So we'll continue. We'll come back here. That's okay. Give it a border radius. Give it a border radius of 12 pixels. Alright. If you refresh, okay. You see? Now we are going to continue. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to come to our container. We have a form. Alright. Okay. So inside this form is inside what? Container. So we are going to come here. Now say dot container to form. Alright. So what we're going to do here, give it a width. Okay. Let's say 100%. I wonder how it will look like. Good. Now if we come here and say give it a width of, let's say 100%. Okay. Alright. Okay. Now come and say okay, give it a height of 100 VH. Okay. Then we'll come here and say okay, give it a we'll refresh the page. Good. This is giving us a very lengthy one. So we're going to come here and give it a, let's say 50 VH. Let's see how it look like. Good. This one will be fine for us. Now let's continue. We are going to style our what? We're going to style our what? Our form inputs. I'm going to come here and ask okay. This same old thing here, I'm going to copy it, put it here, and I say what? Input. Okay. And when we talk about input, we are talking about what? Let's say type, and the type is what? Input type. We have text, we have all those ones. So let me just leave it like that. Let me just come here and say input dash input. Okay. Give it a width. Say width of 200 pixels. Alright, let's see how it look like. You see? Now come here. Say give it a height. The width, we can increase the width to what? 250. Okay. Give it by 250. Good. Now come here, give it a height. Give it a height of 40 pixels. Alright. We check. Are you seeing it now? I think the form is making sense, right? Now we'll come again. We're going to increase the height to what? Let's say 45 pixels. And then so this one, let's say 260. Now we'll come here. The form, we have to give it a border. The input, I mean, say border none. Okay. Now we'll have to come here and say okay. Since we've done that, okay, we have reduced the border, so it's no longer showing because the background is white. So if we come here, I think it's fine like this way. Now what we're going to do here, I'm going to come here and say okay, the inside this form, remember we have what? A B tag. Okay. Okay, I'm going to come here and say form, okay, dash B. Remember, I will not say display, I will not say make it be flex. Okay, are you getting me? If you want to display it flex, you see it has aligned the content for us because we use what? Display flex. Now we'll come here. What I want us to do again now, we are going to come here and say okay, going to increase the height here. Possibly you can say make it a 50. Make it 50. I think that will be fine. Alright. Now also increase the what? The width to also, let's say 300. Alright. 300 will be fine. Like this. Okay. We'll come here. Good. Now remember I said this is just a simple login form. Now I'm going to come here. We need to title this form. At the top here, I can come here and say H3. I'm going to call it login validation form. Something like this. Okay? So that when we refresh it, we'll be seeing something like that. Okay? So I'm going to come here. I'm going to style this H3. Come here, get my container. Remember? That's the H3. Alright? And that's a display. Say display will have to be what? Flex. Okay, align content. So let it be center. Okay. All right. Align item. Sorry. Align items. Align items. So let it be center. Okay, I will now say okay, font size. What font size can we give it? I give it a font size of let's say font size of 50 pixels. It's not bad. It's too big. Okay, let's give it 20. All right, let's see how it looks like. Okay, and 30 will not be bad. 30 is not bad. Then we'll come here and give it a color. All right, color of let's give it a navy. And we'll come here and I'll say text align. You can as well say what? Let it be what? Center. All right, with this we are good to go. All right, so this is our login form. We have successfully designed a form. Now, last thing I want us to do here, we need a button. We're going to come here. After this whole thing, I'm going to come here and create another one. Let me write it as a button. All right, I'm going to create this button as a login. All right, now this login, I'm going to leave it in that manner. If I come and refresh our page, we have a button here, right? So I'm going to style this. By doing that, we are going to come to form. Remember, we have a form here. Okay, so I'm going to come here, get my form. I'm going to get to what? Button. All right, say display. Okay, align content. Okay, align content. So let it be what? Center. No, don't want it to be baseline. Let it be at the center. Okay, and that's a font weight. Let's give it a 300. Okay, color, let's give it a brown. Don't mind me, I'm just trying to make things for demonstration purpose. Then we'll come here, give it a width. Let's give it a width of 100 pixels, height of 30 pixels. If we can do that, good. Now we've successfully done that for our button, but why don't I just run it this way by coming here and just run it in that manner? But if we do that, remember it's inside what? A form. All right, so what I'm going to do here now, if you look at this, you see that it's not that too okay. All right, I can come here and come back here and say from here you can just start a break line. Okay, you can just break the line so that there will be a little space. All right, there will be a little space. Then if that is not okay, alternatively we can come to our container, increase this height. Yes, increase the height of this to what? 60 VH. Yes, if we reduce it to 60 VH, I think we have something as such. All right, now what we're going to do here now, remember we created a break here. We're going to have been able to break this, so can break it twice. Let me break it twice. All right, now we have a login here, right? Now I'm going to give this login an ID. Okay, give it an ID as well, BTN. All right, so I'm going to come back to my form. Remember, I'll have a form. Yes, I'm going to say so what? Hashtag BTN. Okay, so that it will alternatively call it in that manner. You get it now? Fine. Now we are going to look at this button. If you look at it very well, you find out that we have to put a cursor. Okay, say pointer. Okay, and again let's come back here. Let's say font size. Let's say font size of 30 pixels. I don't know how it will look like, but it will be big. Let's say 20 will be okay. All right, just a simple form, just for a testing purpose. We have this right now. What we're going to do now, we are going to our JavaScript. So we've been able to design this simple form, login validation form. Our major aim here is to check when password and confirm password is equal. So when they are not equal, it should be able to trigger an error. Okay, so come back to our design. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to put a semicolon here. All right, so we are going to do our what? Internal what? JavaScript here. We're going to do what? Internal JavaScript. Alright, we have ID here. I call this one EM. We have this ID, call it what? Password. Also have another ID here. I'm going to give it the same ID name, password, because one is confirmed password, one is password. Now that we've done that, now we are going to proceed straight to where we have something like this. We're going to come back here. Let's look at this. To make this happen and work perfectly okay, let's use something that I'm going to show you right now. Yes, let's use something very, very simple and interesting. Now let's come back here. We have something like this. All right, we have something like this. Okay, look at this. I'm going to come here. I'm going to create a script. All right, inside this script we are going to use the JavaScript. Okay, we are going to use JavaScript. The first ID here, I have password, and the second ID here, we have what? Password too. Let me just alternate it. We can alternate it by coming here and say let this one be password 2, or let this one be password 2. Okay, let this be password 2, and the other, if we got that correctly, we're going to now make use of it properly. Now what I want us to do is this. We are going to do a simple JavaScript here. It's going to be an internal JavaScript. It's going to be an internal JavaScript. So to do that, I'm going to come back here. All right, do something very, very interesting, and which is going to be very simple. We are going to use something like this. I'm going to come and use a window. Okay, window dot unload. Okay, window dot unload will enable us to, at every point in time that this input, they click submit button, and it will load the button. If it's work well, we'll set it to what? A function, and this function we are now passing what? An argument. We're going to pass some argument here. First one as a document. Okay, dot get element by ID. Okay, and what is that ID that we are getting? The first ID we are getting here is what? Password. Look at it, this one. We get this ID called password. Then next we now come and say dot unchange. All right, we're using unchange function keywords is equals to validate. Let's just say validate, or let's say validate password. We can use validate password. Yes, validate password. Okay, we can use this. Then we'll now come again as a document. Just copy and paste. Just copy this whole thing because we have the same thing to write here. I will now come and change this one to what? Password 2. All right, you see that it matches with the other one. So we are using what? Validate password function. Okay, we are setting it to what? Validate password as a keyword here. Now what next we need to do here? We'll come back here and that's a function. Okay, that's a validate password which we have set up here. All right, that's a function name. Okay, we are going to come back here and say okay, at the bottom here we are going to say okay, come back here and say var. We define a variable. We can use keywords var. That's a pass 2, which is password 2, is equals to document. Okay, dot get element by ID. Okay, and we are passing it to what? Password 2, which is this password 2. All right, put it here. Okay, and I say at every point that they enter what? A value, you should tell us if the value is correct or not. Then we proceed. We can decide to put semicolon here. Okay, then we'll come here and now say var again password 1 is equals to document. Okay, dot get element by ID. Alright, at every point that they enter what a password here, remember we have a password here with that 2. Okay, when I say if they enter a value and the value matches, it should what? Give us what? A response. Now that we have defined these two, next thing I want to do, we are going to do small conditional statement. If conditional statement, I say if pass, okay, we are going to say if password 1, this password 1, if this password 1, okay, are you getting me, is not equals to password 2, don't forget, if it's not equals to password 2, it should tell us something, and that message should be something like this. We are going to do something very interesting here. If it's not equals to password 2, now say document, okay, dot get element by ID, and what is the element that is getting? Is getting that element of that what? Password 2, which is this one. Okay, we are going to put it here. All right, and that's okay. Use what we call set custom. Okay, use what they call set custom validation. Okay, custom validity, something like this. Okay, since we are using a custom validity, we are going to pass the message here and I say password doesn't match. Okay, doesn't match. Okay, does not match. All right, since we are using a custom validity, if this password 1 is not equals to password 2, it should show us what? This message that password does not match. X, it should come and give us what? Document. Okay, this whole thing, just copy this whole thing here, because we are going to use it here. At this point in time, if it matches, we should say that what? Correct what? Input. Correct input. All right, sorry, correct input. All right, now let's try it out. If we save this, remember we are using what? Internal what? JavaScript, so I don't need to link it. So if I come here, I refresh, I put my name and I say Joshua, I come back here and I say Brandy Cook at gmail.com. I come and say password and I say Josh 123 or 122. Now come and say Josh 123. Okay, if I click login, you see it's a password doesn't what? Don't match. Okay, now we are going to come back and make it correct and enter correct password. If I come here and enter another name, let's say Joshua, let's say Josh at gmail.com, and I'll come and say password, let's say pass 123. I come and say pass 123. Now if I click login, it's a correct what? Input. You see, this is where we can what? Use JavaScript to do what? Validation, using what they call what? Custom validity. Okay, by using what they call custom validity, we can be able what? To set up this pattern. Okay, using custom what? Validity. So this is how far we can go in this simple login form. We are using just a CSS and JavaScript with HTML. So we are using the JavaScript to validate the input, or where the password matches with what? The confirm what? Password. There are various ways to do this. We can use a PHP. By the time we are going to the advanced level, we'll be inserting this data into the database, whereby we'll have a table where user detail already existed. We're going to use it to validate if your login detail matches with the one in the database. But for now, I want us to remain focused and follow my channel. Feel free to subscribe. Don't forget to share this video. Don't forget to like, and don't forget to comment on the comment section. I remain your friend Joshua. Thank you for your time. Remain blessed. Goodbye.